Hey everyone, Andy's free guitar chart videos here. I got a special extra lesson because I've improved this chart number 215, and it's the usual chart 215, so we'll just get me out of the way a second and see that it's long pattern pentatonics. And this has really improved my playing, and it's going to improve over the next season, whatever, as I internalize these patterns. But really, there's only a couple of patterns to know, so don't feel bad that it's like a whole lot of memorization. It really isn't. Life's a lot of learning and a lot of memorization, but it's good to be able to choose what you remember or just simply remember what you remember. And that's the trick to it, is to make it make sense. The things that you want to memorize are the things that can be used again and applied to different situations, instead of memorizing each outcome of those situations. You just memorize the one, if you want to call it an attitude, and you take that attitude in different situations in life, instead of memorizing each particular outcome before it even happens. So I've adjusted the chart here. The only patterns that we really are going to be using, and of course these are in P4 tuning, so they have to be put through the tuning warp. You know what the tuning warp is. Okay, so when we tune the guitar, mine's tuned to C, but yours is tuned to E, like that. And the tuning warp is the third between the strings 2 and 3, or between strings 4 and 5 from the bottom. Okay, so in order to make a perfect fourth at that point for the patterns, because they're all in P4 tuning, you have to move the pattern to the right 1 fret to make that perfect fourth, to make the pattern work like that. Okay, and there's the string shapes that are, so there's a few little groups of patterns, but really the only thing that you have to know for sure is the string shapes. And when we start a major scale, we might start on the bottom here, and we just go root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root. Okay, and the string shapes are a little funny around the root. The root, it goes 7, root 2. So we don't have the 7 down here because the guitar doesn't go down that low, so we're just going to start with root. So it goes root 2, which is the E shape. The E shape is the root there, okay? And we're going to go to the D shape after that, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to go to the C shape, 3, 4, 5. Notice they're sharing notes, so we're going like on a ladder, a little bit at a time, and they share notes. So the D shape shares 3, 4, with the C shape shares 3, 4, like that, and the C shape goes 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then the next shape up is the A shape that goes 5, 6, like that, and then the G shape, sharing the 6 with that A, goes 6, 7, root, and then finally sharing the 7 root with the G shape is the E shape once again, 7, root 2, and here's our octave on root. So that's the string shapes when we go along a string, and they're the same on each string. It depends on which string shape you start on. So let's say on the second string here, any old string shape we can start in here. Now this is let's look at your guitar tuning. So it would be here. So your second string would be the A string. So we could start, what pattern could we start from that A string? It would be the G pattern, because A is the 6th and the key is C, and just like the word caged, it's written in the key of C. So so are the string shapes coined in the key of C, but they're applicable to any key, as you'll find out as you go along. So on that A string, you can start a G shape right there, 6, 7 root, and then from that G shape we can go 7 root 2 to an E shape, and then 2, 3, 4 to a D shape. So on each one of the strings we can do the string shapes just starting from that string. So let's say the 4th string up, the G string, we can start an A shape there, 5, 6, and then on top of an A shape we do a what? So how do these words, how do you remember which one of the shapes? It's the word caged, C-A-G-E-D. So you start the A word here, the A letter is the A shape, and then in cage, C-A-G, A goes to G, so it would be the G string shape there, and then G goes to E, would be the E string shape, 7 root 2, and then the D string shape, which would be 2, 3, 4. So on each one of the strings you can do that too. Just do caged all the way up on each one of the strings. Let's look at the 3rd string, which would be the D string, right? So when you're tuning your guitar, it's E, A, D, right? I hope. Yeah. So it would be D shape would start there, 2, 3, 4, and then 3, 4, 5 for the C shape. You start the word caged over again. C goes to A shape, and A goes to G, 6, 7 root. Okay, so caged is on each one of the strings using the scale fragments on the strings, but it also can stack up if you just go vertically up with it. So the C string shape, okay, if we go double string shapes, it's a little easier. We can climb the ladder. So C, 3, 4, 5 goes to A string shape, 5, 6, and then on the next string we can start the G string shape, 6, 7 root, and then after G we go to the E string shape, 7 root 2. Climbing up on the ladder, we have double notes here. Those are the rungs of the ladder that we always want to hold on to the ladder with 2 hands, you know what I'm saying? 2 points of contact if we can. You got your foot as a point of contact, that kind of thing. And just climb up the ladder. Now, once you get a little better, you don't need to be so concerned with it. Not like your James Bond climbing a ladder in 2 seconds, but so we don't have to do double string shapes. We can go straight up, and if we go straight up, we just skip each one of these, every other letter in the word cage, every other string shape, and we can go up in string shape fifths. Because of the way the guitar strings are tuned, they give us kind of a placement in the scale. So we go starting from the C string shape on the bottom, we skip the next letter. So we skip A and we go to G string shape, and then they put the 2 together and it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root. We skip the next letter in the cage word, C-A-G, so we skip E and we go to D string shape. So you see how the G string shape, 6, 7 root goes to 2, 3, 4. That's a scale, so it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so from this D string shape here, G string shape here, I think I'm getting a little mixed up. The D string shape here, because remember this is the D string, it starts the D string shape.